Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this February 28th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're also on Roku.
Nailed it.
Yeah. How are you, man?
I'm good. So, what is today? Second Monday? Yeah, it definitely feels like second Monday.
Is that? Yeah, I'm with you.
It's the last day of February already, huh? This is not a leap year.
Oh, that's right.
It's already the last day of February. Already 2 months gone in 2023. One-sixth of the year is gone.
So I tell you something funny. So tomorrow, my son Brady is a leap day kid.
So you don't get birthdays.
So he doesn't get birthdays.
Yes.
So then there's always this conversation of like, well, on the off years, do you celebrate it on the 28th or on the 1st? Which I would think the 1st, okay? Well, so now he plays it both ways. So happy birthday, Brady. So he'll play it both ways. So it'd be like
both days.
But yeah, so it's like, yeah, he wants it both days. So it's like if you don't tell him happy birthday on the 28th, he'll be like, you missed my birthday.
Well, I mean, technically, he don't get either. I mean,
no,
February 29th.
Well, yeah, and that was the funny thing is like when he was in kindergarten, he came home crying. It was like, you said my birthday was on the 29th, and I looked on the calendar, and there's no such 29th. Day.
Yeah. Cheap. He's the cheapest birthday ever.
That's right.
Like, hey, you get your birthdays every 4 years.
Yeah.
You're one of the chosen ones.
Yeah. Very funny. Yeah. So,
well, let's jump into sports. We had a big weekend.
All right.
We'll start it off. This baseball and softball tryouts start today. Today's the day. Look at the weather; it's perfect for it, isn't it? I mean, that's LaGrange. That's the Valley. LHS girls wrestling got 4th at state this past weekend. Christian Azar placed 3rd. Lindy Isaacson, Delia Gozo, all 3rd place finishes. All 5 of the 7 girls that went placed. So congratulations to them. The boys brought home their 3rd title in 4 years, 4A state wrestling champs.
Wow.
Here's the crazy part, BC.
Okay.
The crazy part is out of the 17 wrestlers they took, 14 of them placed and 11 of them were in the top 3.
Wow.
With 3 individual state champs.
Wow.
Kai Carson, Joshua Collins, and Bryson Penaloza, with Kai and Josh both being repeat state champs. That's a bunch of dogs right there.
That's crazy.
Out in Elgin in the 2A, 1A, they got 4th. Joe Lathrop won. I think it's his 2nd back-to-back state championship, if I remember right. He might have got 2nd last year, but I know for sure he got a state championship this year, which was cool. EOU women's wrestling got 4th in the CCC championships yet on Sunday here. Erin Redford was the lone CCC champ for EOU at 136 pounds, which is crazy because 2 years ago she got 2nd in the nation. She lost in the finals at 142, and she dropped it. She's down to 136, and she's a force to be reckoned with, and she's going to make a run at a national title, which is really cool. EOU men's basketball lost last night to the number 1 ranked C of I Coyotes. Oh, I hate C of I in the CCC championship. But the good thing is EOU's dancing. They got the other automatic bid. They're in the tournament. We're just waiting to see what seed they are and where they're going to play for the first round, which they might get a first round home game, which would be cool. And then our region for this region, C of I is the host for that. So we'll see how that goes down. EOU women's basketball play tonight in the CCC championship against LC State up at Quinn, 5:30. They already have their ticket is punched as well. So this is just for bragging rights tonight. And we split with LCSC during the season. Both teams are like 30-2. I mean, it's going to be a game tonight, and it's going to be fun. I mean, you should, if you have the chance to get up there, go support them.
Yeah. What time's that game at?
5:30.
Okay.
EOU softball started off conference play this weekend. They had to move a couple games around because of crappy weather. So the game was supposed to be in British Columbia, Providence. They moved it to Hermiston or Blue Mountain. And then they moved it to College of Idaho, which is so weird. You know what I mean? Like, can we move it any further? Right. You know? So they start the first conference game of the season. Second pitch of the game, Caitlin Chris hits a home run. EOU wins that game 21-0.
Oh my!
Yeah, and sweeps the weekend. Four games done. Only 3 of them count in conference. That's how it works in NAIA softball. They'll play doubleheader, and the first 3 of the 4 games count towards the conference. The last one goes on your overall schedule, but not your conference record. So EOU 4-0. I mean 4-0, 3-0 in the conference, and off to a great start. And they're fun to watch. They're 19th in the country, and they're going to make a run again. They're probably going to make that tournament again this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's all I got.
All righty.
Wait, what do we got for comments going on?
Let's look. While you're looking at comments, let's look at outside. It's a little cold. Yeah.
Morning, Todd. Yeah, go Mounties tonight for sure. It's going to be a good game.
Let's see what Gabe has.
The European model shows those showers becoming widespread into the second half of your Tuesday, with that rain mixing with grapple and snow across our region. Heading into today on Tuesday for LeGrand, it looks like this will start into the upper 20s at the 8 o'clock hour. There will be some sun breaks around, scattered light snow showers, but overall you're going to be drier than not the first half of the day. More of that cloud cover thickening up by midday, rising those highs into the upper 30s as those southerly winds take over, gusting up to 30 miles per hour in spots. But we see a bit of a westerly component taking later in the day, increasing that moisture, changing it to pretty much all snow as that becomes steady at times late day into the evening. That 7-day forecast sponsored by Valley Insurance shows those early morning numbers for your Tuesday mixing into the teens and 20s, with the exception for Pendleton closer to 30. Afternoon highs into the 30s and 40s. By the time we hit midnight, total snowfall expected dusting to 3 inches across eastern Oregon, with the exception for up above 5,000 feet, where I'm expecting 3 to 8 inches. Just trace amounts to spotty inch totals into early Wednesday. Otherwise, your next threat for valley snow would be late Thursday into early Friday, and yet again over the weekend. But the big picture is those temperatures remain below average throughout the next 7 days.
All right.
He got excited there at the end. His voice kind of below average over there. I told you he was going to talk about grapples or whatever. Or grapples.
Yeah, and it's so what you and I would call a dusting, he calls grapple.
Grapple. I mean, if I can go out and just wipe my windshield off and I don't have to put any effort into it, I call it a dusting, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's like, I mean, you can wipe it off when there's more than a couple inches if it's not frozen. So I mean, if it's more than a couple inches, it's snow. But under that, I mean, I could have just went.
Yeah. It was super light.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like ash or something from
Yeah.
So it was very, very light.
I still don't like it though.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm ready for snow.
No. Yeah. It makes it miserable and cold to get up. So
our spring's going to be late this year, BC.
You think?
I do.
You think we're going to get? I was.
We might get some April snow this year.
Yeah. See, I was watching a show. I did an interview with Cliff Bentz last April, and we had just been dumped on a ton of snow. Yeah.
I think we'll go into April.
Yeah.
Hopefully not May.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Who knows? I need outdoor sports.
Yeah. Everything though, the weather is changing. I mean, it's all shifting.
Shifting.
Yeah. I mean, it's at least 2 weeks delayed compared to what it was, 20 or 30 years ago.
I remember when I was a kid here, it was almost guaranteed that you had snow on Halloween.
Right.
I mean, every year, and a substantial amount of snow.
Yeah.
Now, we don't even know if we're going to get snow on Halloween.
Yeah, it might be rainy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More like fall than
than
winter.
So,
and it used to be like October 31st, you're getting dumped on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All righty. Well, this morning we have the mayor of Elgin, James Johnson, is going to be with us, and he'll be with us right after this.
Want to keep yourself informed with relevant news and events in Eastern Oregon but don't have much time on your hands? Well, here on EOA Live, we pay attention to what's happening in Eastern Oregon and deliver the news in 2 minutes or less on our evening news roundup. You can expect to get your news delivered right to your Facebook and Instagram feed every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. We'll keep you in tune with Eastern Oregon, and you can count on that. EOA Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Now on Roku.
All right, we're back. Nice to have you with us this morning, James. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you and I just met. We haven't connected before, and so we're glad to have you with us. And we're trying to reach out to the communities outside of LeGrand and kind of connect with the mayors. I think as time goes on, we'll have some of the other mayors around the area jump in.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but thanks a bunch. Now, so how long have you been mayor out there?
This is my first year.
Okay.
Just was elected, so I look forward to serving my community, and I'm pretty happy about the position.
Yeah. So, and tell me a little bit about, kind of give me a thumbnail version of your life and how you got here. And
Well, I grew up in Elgin, and I started doing business in Elgin at a very young age, mowing yards, that sort of thing, connecting with people, always doing side work. Man, kind of a trick question as to when I started my first actual business, but I know it's been over 13 years now. Been doing business in Elgin as a construction company now. We have Airbnbs as well. Got my family out there, got them going, and got married to my high school sweetheart. Elgin's a pretty important community to me, and so I look forward to continue to serve them, and got a lot of stake in Elgin as far as property and being involved with the community. So.
yeah, and you were born you graduated in 2008. Is that
2008?
What you said? Yeah. So you're the age of my kids. I had one that graduated in 2007 and one that graduated in 2010. So yeah, but no, cool. So what made you decide to get into the political arena? How did that come about?
So I had a lot of people asking me if I'd ever consider running for mayor. Also, like I said, I volunteer a lot around my community. So I'm no stranger to volunteering. And as you know, this job's not a very good paying one.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I like serving my community, and I joined the Republican Party here in LeGrand. They meet once a month and everything. And after joining them, being around it a little bit, and then I'm also had been friends with Alan Duffy, the ex-mayor, for a while, and he encouraged me to run as well, plus supported me. So that's kind of how it happened, and then Alan also works for me.
Yeah.
So good guy to have in my back pocket.
All right.
I have a question about it. So is it set up just like LeGrand? Like the mayor has the same
tiebreaker vote? Yeah,
So
it's the same. I believe it's the same. I'm not familiar with LeGrand.
So tell us how your setup is. You have a city and the relationship with the city manager.
So I basically work hand in hand with the city manager.
Okay.
The council oversees the city manager. Currently, Elgin has a pro temp city manager. That's something we're working on right now, is trying to get a new one hired. With that being said, where he's pro temp, the council actually has quite a bit of control as far as over the staff and employees. And so that's kind of good and bad, pros and cons there. But yeah, I'm the tiebreaker vote, and my main thing is to run the meetings. And one thing that I've been big at so far is trying to get all of our community organizations working together again, and working with the police department, keeping open relationships with everyone.
So it is just like
Yeah, I think so.
It's very
nonpartisan.
similar. The charters might be a little different, but I'm sure it's very similar.
Yeah. So, and although you said you vote when there's a tie,
Correct.
That's kind of what you're hoping to do, but your vote only counts as one. Correct. Okay. So got it. All right.
But if you build a good team, I mean,
you want consensus anyhow.
Yeah, and so far, just for the record, all of the things we voted on so far have been all yeses, and everybody's agreeing, and I feel like the council's we're really working together, and that's something I don't think Elgin's seen in a while.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I'm pretty excited. The council chambers was packed too last meeting. That made me happy to see everybody just coming together and talking and stuff. So
is that because is there anything controversial going on, or are they just wanting to weigh in?
Just weighing in, and like the Lions Club gave a good report. Invited the Grange Hall. They came out, made a report. The train depot was there. It just seems like we're getting more and more people every meeting since I started, and that's my goal, is to keep us working together as a community. So
yeah,
I'm pretty excited about it. So.
Yeah. Now, Elgin, how many residents do you have in Elgin, or do you consider?
A little over 1,700.
Okay, and you guys have a sewer treatment center, and then do you run on well water? Tell me about
well water
your
and sewer treatment. And right now, the current Public Works Department director, Tyler, he's doing a great job. He's got Mike Becker out there upgrading all of our sewer. So a lot of people don't realize Elgin's kind of an odd size, for the state of Oregon. But one of the cool things about us is we have a serious water and sewer system, so for expansion, it's available.
Right.
We got a great system, and all that's going well. I'm happy to see some of those lines getting replaced, because I was starting to get a little worried.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of roads coming up, going to be paved this year too. So we're getting, Tyler's really good at writing grants and getting those passed. And so, yeah, we're got a great team, really.
Good. So who is Boise Cascade your biggest employer out there? Who's in?
Yeah, Boise Cascade. And then the biggest economic driver, I'd say, is the Opera House.
Right.
We got a lot of people come to Elgin for that all over the world, man.
Right.
I even had people stay at my Airbnb that I think they were from England.
Yeah. They were on we had them on some program.
Oh, really? That's great. Yeah, they were staying at our Airbnb out there. And so we actually, I forgot how that worked. I think we donated like half of that.
Yeah.
I and the wife there at the Blue Mountain Getaway.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. So yeah, Opera House brings a lot of people. I actually recently ran into a lady that bought a house in Elgin because of the Opera House.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
No.
What about?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say, what about Elgin Stampede? Like, what is that?
So that's a big thing right now. I actually went down to the state capitol, had a meeting with Representative Bobby Levy, and then I had a meeting with Senator Bill Hansel, and I was pushing the Stampede project. Elgin's plan is to basically we'll take possession of that building for like 5 years and try to get block grants and different capital construction money to get the Stampede Hall expanded new, which that Stampede Hall is more like a community hall.
Right.
We use it for everything. And I mean, that's where I learned to dance, man. So I got to support that and try to get that going. So we're excited about that as well.
I asked about that because the mutual person we know in Elgin, Dave Baker, he's a huge Stampede.
Yep. He was a supporter of mine
all
too.
The time, man. He's one of, like that's one of the cool things about small towns like that. You got your thing to grab onto, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's either the Opera House or Stampede or both, right? Yeah, and that's cool. That's one of the things I really like about it.
Yeah, they really come together as a community too. When we need to get something done, it might take a little bit to get it going, but then once it gets going, the ball's rolling. So.
No, I have, I've been to a number of events out there at the Stampede Hall, and yeah, that's kind of the place, you know. I mean, and it's really interesting because it's like a culture out there. I mean, and you know that. I mean, it's like, you have a big event. I've been to several funeral services out there.
Yeah, it's even hold funerals.
Yeah,
it's, everything there.
Yeah, and so, but as soon as the service is over, I mean, it's like an all hands on deck. Chairs are folded, tables come out. I mean, the entire room is transformed in about 5 minutes, and that's what I mean. It being a culture. Everybody just kind of knows what to do.
It seems like everything's super nostalgic out there too.
Yeah,
like, there's just this like grasp on nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna do it this way, and it's gonna be old school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
and we're gonna get it done in a hurry.
Yeah,
yeah. A lot of great volunteers.
Well, you're right. I mean, as I'm thinking about what you said, the Elgin Opera House, excuse me, and the Elgin Stampede, it gives you guys an identity. It gives you those are like markers that your city can grab onto and promote. And I'm really good friends with Terry Hill and that crew, and did a show out there a number of years ago and got to know them. And we're a big supporter of the Elgin Opera House. And I mean,
Yeah,
it's a tremendous driver.
What Terry has done for our community with that Opera House is absolutely amazing. And then having Kathy Bonney now, she used to be the bank manager there at Community Bank. And
Yeah.
man, they've just got a great team going there at the Opera House.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it.
Very good. Well, so what are your needs? What are what are the immediate things that you guys are trying to work on, you think?
As a council right now, we're going through and looking at all the different departments within the city and just figuring out if it looks like it's running smooth and according to budget, and make changes if we have to, hopefully positive ones. One of the recent things we had to do that we didn't, exactly want to do, and didn't like doing, we got some serious reconstruction going on at the Elgin transfer site dump. We had to eliminate that position, cut it down to 1 day a week. The good news is we still have our transfer site. The bad news is the cuts we had to make, and the only 1 day a week might be inconvenient for people, but we're only getting on average like 7 to 20 people on Wednesday. And if you look at the prices, I mean, it's a no brainer. You're paying to have the place open instead of it making, profit, or at least if it break even, I mean, it'd be fine. But when you're not breaking even, as you know, in business, I mean,
no, that's not a good business.
So what's
it's not a good business if you're not at least breaking even.
So where's the transfer site and what is that again? I'm sorry, I'm not.
So it's the city's dump.
Right.
You go up there and they dump it, and then Waste Pro actually comes and gets the can.
And is it a building that they dump it in, or it's just a site?
We got a small structure over where the garbage can comes in.
Okay.
We dump it into a big dumpster.
Okay.
And then it gets hauled in here to Waste Pro.
Here, yeah.
So that's the other problem. You're basically competing with your provider. I mean, how does that work? And so it's really hard as far as budget.
Yeah.
But the good news is we still have one. I was really worried about losing that because I couldn't imagine like some of the people that rely on using that. Especially for like brush, we take our brush there and stuff because we have a no burn ordinance. So all of our brush gets delivered there for free. So I'm just happy we still have it.
You have a no burn ordinance all year?
Yeah, there's no burning. You have to get a
Inside the
permit
city
if you want to
limits?
burn anything. Yep.
Wow. So no burn barrels, no.
No burn barrels. No.
Wow.
They did that. I can't remember, a number of years ago.
Oh, well, it's probably pretty smart, especially since that hill up above Elgin.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah.
That's scary,
not only
bro.
that, they're like the smoke next to everybody. And just, the recently, like, remember that fire we had up 204 right there? I mean, that got pretty close to town. So we really need to watch that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
So what are your goals? What are the, if you could like look out there a few years, what do you guys want to be building towards?
I would love to see the Opera House grow some more. It's a big one for me.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that Stampede Hall expansion and new rebuild.
Yeah.
And then just making sure we keep the community together, continue getting these grants and get our potholes filled and get them roads back in shape. Find a new administrator, the one that we have, great guy, doing a great job. But he's had some medical issues and stuff. And so we're just trying to build a new team. So,
okay. Like a new city manager. Is that what
Yep. That's what we're actually looking for. That job is out. The council did invest the power in myself and JT Thorne, the council president, to go out and find applicants and bring them in front of the council for interview. So we are currently seeking a new administrator.
Wow.
That's one of the biggest changes and goals that we got to get done.
Now, where's the courthouse? Where do you guys hang out at?
So I haven't dove into that much. I don't know a lot about the local court there in Elgin. It is conducted in the council chambers. I know that.
Okay.
As far as how it's going, I've heard it's going good. I do need to, like I said, there was a lot to do in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just getting to where I can get my feet wet in some different areas now. So I'm hoping that's one of the things is kind of look at how our local court runs and all that.
But where are your council chambers at? Where are they?
It's located there in City Hall.
Okay. And City Hall is in
the old WC building.
Okay. Yeah. So that
couldn't have worked out better for those guys and the city.
Yeah.
Because we had the old City Hall and the shop were separate. They were in the old firehouse building there for a while. The Public Works was.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can imagine that, the managers being over here, the clerks being over here, then the Public Works person over here. And it was going to cost a fortune to have a new one built. So they ended up buying, this is before my time, obviously, but I've lived in Elgin forever, so I know about it. Ended up buying that building when Dennis and Bob from WC retired. So worked out good for them. They needed to get rid of the building. Elgin needed a public workshop and office together. So it really has been a great transition for the city of Elgin.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful building. I mean, it's not very old. It's not very old.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's not very old, and it's a beautiful building, lots of space.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, do you follow in Elgin? You guys were talking about this a little bit. The wrestling did good coming. Yeah.
Yeah, they did great. Took fourth there as a team, and then my nephew Joe Lathrop, state champion,
And Gabe Hasbell, third. I think he got third.
I want to say third.
Yeah, I played football with his dad. His dad was on
Roy,
the defensive line with me. Yeah, he was a junior when I was a senior.
Great.
Wow, very cool.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Dude,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then as you dive into people, like you even realize more. Like, oh, I know your sister. I know your mom. I know this. I know
Well,
that.
just like you brought up Joshua Collins, like, oh, that's my brother-in-law.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it makes you know that like you got to be careful. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Everybody knows everybody, and so it's like, I mean, you misstep, everybody's going to know.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So,
TJ, what's up?
well, James, thanks for jumping in with us. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to mention to us
Yeah.
before we?
Look over this here.
The floor is yours.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to mention, we got a town hall meeting coming up March 9th at 5 p.m. at the community center. This is a big deal. So the land lab and the Elgin School District, they're doing a proposed land lab because they got some, I want to think it was sheep donated to them. So they're working on building this FFA, which is great. But what comes with that is we have to annex in 80 more acres of land that's also open for development. So I encourage anybody that wants to know about what's going to go on there or what could potentially go on there to join us in that town hall meeting. So that's probably the biggest thing.
March 5th?
9th.
March 9th.
Yep, 5 p.m. at the Elgin Community Center.
Sweet.
All righty. All right. Thanks, James,
All
for
right.
jumping in with us.
Appreciate you.
Sure appreciate it. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. That was a
We are.
good conversation that we had with James. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna try to say her name, but Josh's sister, Joshua Collins' sister. I will try to say it. Corinda. I mean, that's as close as I can get, I think. Josh Collins is a beast, is my beast of a brother. Way to go, LeGrand and Elgin High School wrestlers. Yeah, it was a heck of a weekend for, Oh, one thing I gotta talk about too. I forgot.
Okay.
I completely it dropped right out of my mind. The rosters for East West Shrine came out. And we have 3 Valley kids that were selected: Powder Valley, Cole Martin, Union, Bo Ledbetter, whose sister is a beast at EOU track and field. She's a thrower. She's going to the nationals, and she's been on my show. And then from LeGrand, Meyer Whitmore, who I played football with his dad.
Wow.
Such a small, you know what I mean? Meyer Whitmore had a heck of a year. The alternates are supposed to come out in about 2 weeks, so we'll know. I mean, as you know, BC, we do the production work, and I'm the color commentator for that. And there'll probably be about 7 alternates from each team that end up being on the actual roster due to injuries, or it's summertime, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, or colleges not letting kids, so we'll see some alternates, but congratulations to the 3 Valley kids.
Yeah.
That made it into the East West Shrine. It's always fun. And another cool thing is one of the quarterbacks, I coached him.
Oh, that's
in Dallas.
Cool. Oh, really?
Dallas's quarterback. I coached him from the time he was like 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. Yeah. So I'll have a kid that I coached in the game this year. That'll be fun.
How fun is that?
Yeah, and I'll get to interview him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be really cool. And the crazy thing is my son has been his center since they were 4th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that's a different relationship.
Yeah.
A center and a quarterback. So that's going to be really cool this year. East West Shrine. That's going to happen in July this year, BC.
Yep.
Early. It's
Last
gonna be
week.
hot.
Last weekend. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a weekend. It's a week sooner
Earlier.
than what it has
Absolutely.
been. Yeah.
Which is good, because then we don't conflict with Elgin Stampede, right? That's what we ran into last
I can't remember.
year. I think it was the same weekend as a couple different events.
The weekends are all jammed, though. I mean, it's like you can't have a weekend event without.
East West Shrine game, though, let me tell you guys, it's fun. Get over there to Baker and check it out. There's a whole bunch of Shriners, and Shriners party, man. That's all they do. They love to get down. They love to raise money.
What's funny is that I've always got my head in the computer. I've never. Yeah, it's like
the hotel that I stay at is full of Shriners, right?
Yeah.
And on that, Benny and I go the day before.
Yeah.
Because we're putting together, we have interviews to do. We're busy, and you walk out of your room and you're fed.
Yeah.
Because there's barbecues everywhere. They're just like, are you hungry? You and Sean?
Yeah.
Come over.
Yeah.
And now we're going on year 3.
Yeah.
So last year they remembered me from the year before. So year 3, it's there. Yeah. It's just, it's fun.
That's fun.
It's good stuff. All right.
So here, wait, before you do it. So I just want to mention that the LeGrand Rotary Daughter Daddy Dance is this weekend. It's on Saturday. There's a matinee and an evening. I think the evening one is pretty close to being sold out.
8 o'clock is the evening one.
Is it? I don't know the exact times.
But I mean, you can scan the little thing on the screen right now,
right?
Or you can just go to their website.
Yeah, but great event. And there's been a little bit of confusion. There's been a lot of confusion because the Grand Ron Academy started a daughter daddy dance just recently. I think this last year was their second one, and so there are 2 of them. But the Grand Rotary one is the one. It's the one that's been going. I think this is the 8th annual. So great event. And even if you took your daughter to the other one, this is an opportunity, or maybe this is an opportunity for grandpa to take one of the grandkids. So anyhow, don't miss that great event. And it's I'm a part of LeGrand Rotary. I'll be the president next year, and it is our main fundraiser for all of the things that we do that contribute not only to Rotary International, but also to the events and the things that we do here locally.
Very cool.
All righty.
On this day, February 28th, 1849, the first boatload of gold rush prospectors arrived in San Francisco from the East Coast. On this day, 1849. On this day, 1854, the Republican Party was formally organized in Ripon, Wisconsin. On this day in 1959, the launch of Discoverer 1, first polar orbit. 1977, the first killer whale was born in captivity in Marineland, Los Angeles. You know what's crazy about killer whales?
What's
you know,
that?
everybody's always so scared of of white sharks, right? You know,
Yeah.
great whites. Killer whales hunt white sharks.
Yeah. No, they
They
are.
don't play.
No, and have you ever seen them? I mean, I'm sure you've seen the videos of them creating waves to knock a seal
Absolutely.
off of a
Yeah,
ice.
and they'll breach. They'll full breach like a white shark too. They'll
Yeah.
come fully out of the water. But yeah, they bump them up onto the shore, and there'll be three or four of them that like kind of corral.
No.
And they do that to white sharks
right.
too, which is
no,
crazy.
and that's why they call it the sea wolf. I mean, because they're like, yeah.
I was talking with somebody and they, you remember what was the whale that had the flopped over fin? Free Willy,
Yeah.
whatever, the Kiko
Kiko, that's what I was going to say. But yeah,
they
something
say
like-
that happens from being in captivity. That's
Yeah.
a sign of depression.
I had
in a
heard
whale.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, we kind of do those whales wrong as humans. I mean, we have these giant, huge whales in these, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I've never been a huge fan of that.
No, and there's less and less captivity all the time.
Which is good
Yeah.
because we shouldn't really and it might sound kind of weird or whatever, but we shouldn't really be getting our jollies off of animals, you know, that are miserable.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like I've never understood that.
Yeah.
Like, we go to like zoos and no, they're cool, but at the same time, those animals ain't happy.
Well, and I think zoos for the large part have changed their practices
They have.
to where the animals that they pull into the zoo are animals that are injured or they were
born in captivity.
They were born in captivity, and so they could never survive in the wilderness
Right.
by themselves, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Right, but back in the day, you know,
Right.
back in the old days, I mean,
No.
we'd be shipping elephants over here for the circus and
Right.
wild, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, never been a big fan. Although I think animals are cool and I like looking at them, and especially marine
Right.
mammals. Because the one thing that I wanted to do, you know, as a kid, what I wanted to be when I got older was a marine biologist. I love the ocean. The ocean's my sanctuary. Like I grew up first 11 years in Southern California,
Right,
on
yeah.
La Jolla. You know, like grandparents lived in Rancho Bernardo. Grandpa was a retired Marine, so we spent a lot of time on Camp Pendleton on the beach. And then when I moved to Oregon, the Oregon coast, man, I mean, how can you not love the Oregon coast?
No.
So it's absolutely breathtaking.
No, it is, and then I think on this show I mentioned that. Yeah, I went to Australia. I went to New Zealand, and they were talking about how beautiful the New Zealand coast was. And once I got there, it was like, oh,
It's just like Oregon.
it looks like Oregon.
That's
Yeah.
one thing. So since I've developed this love for taking pictures
Uh-huh.
of sports,
Yeah.
that's the next thing that I want to take pictures of.
Yeah.
Well, there's two things: the coast,
Yeah.
and I want to take pictures of train graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
that'd be
other.
interesting.
That's my. I want to start taking some pictures of train graffiti. I think that would be cool because
Yeah.
train graffiti is out of this world.
It's an art.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. 1991 on this day, the Gulf War ended after Iraq accepted a ceasefire following their retreat from Kuwait. 1991. 1997 on this day was the North Hollywood shootout. That was crazy. That was my senior year in high school. That was the two dudes that had the full body armor.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. If you're any, you know, if you were alive then and you were an infant, you remember that.
Well, and that changed how cops operate.
100%.
Yeah.
These guys were in full body armor with fully automatic. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like
they were.
It was like war in Hollywood.
and the cops were totally outgunned. They
Way
had
outgunned.
right.
They had
Yeah.
no chance for the most of that battle. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, and I think there were 4 officers that were killed in that.
By 2 guys.
Right.
And the crazy thing is they put it all on TV live.
Right. And that whole, and that whole thing lasted. I mean, it was, I don't know, a 20-minute battle. It was a long,
Yeah, it wasn't just like a quick little shootout. No, they were reloading.
No,
they were.
No. And what's funny is that when you I've studied like the OK Corral battle, that whole thing lasted 20 seconds.
Yeah.
25 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
this North Hollywood shootout. They made a movie about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was serious, and it's nothing to laugh about, but it was a turning point in the way police handle those kinds.
Yeah,
of
they didn't really have long guns.
Well, who did?
They didn't carry them, but who needed them?
Who did that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like now you need it.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, just the way things have gone. And then 2019 on this day, YouTube announced that it will stop all comments on videos featuring children because of pedophiles leaving inappropriate comments. And the reason why I put this one on here is because I think that needs to happen across all platforms. I think we need to do a better job of protecting our kids from social media. I mean, you see it. It's gotten out of hand, BC. Like really, it's really frustrating. You'll see like kids and TikTok and Snapchat, and they see stuff nowadays that when I was their age, my gosh, like I would be dumbfounded. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff. So I'll scroll through TikTok and I'm like, my kids are getting. I mean, I sat there right next to my son, and we're both scrolling through TikTok. He's going to be 17.
Right. We're seeing the same thing.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
And TikTok supposedly gives you the For You based on stuff you follow.
Right.
But no, the algorithm was the exact same for both of us.
Right.
And like there's just a lot of I don't know how we can moderate that. Like I don't even know as a parent, other than taking the phone away completely, how to moderate that. It's such a bad position to be in as a parent.
Well, and there are some families, and I think I'm a proponent of that. Is that I mean that at 9:00 at night or whenever it is that whenever a kid goes to bed, the phone is in the charger on the kitchen cabinet or whatever.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't help with them accessing stuff.
No, it doesn't. But it's like,
we're too far into it. Like I would love some sort of resolution to it, but what do we do now? These kids these are ingrained. These are like part of their life. They don't even know, you know what I mean, how to operate without these.
Right. But part of, when you hear about these crazy stories, and these stories happen locally here, where you'll have an 11-year-old that'll get involved with some guy out of the area, an adult or whatever it might be, and a lot of that stuff happens where that kid is up in the middle of the night communicating with that adult,
Absolutely. I mean, it's part of the problem.
It's
but
craziness.
The reality of it is so I guess here's how I've aimed my attack on it is just educating my kids. Like, hey, like I can't stop you. I've never been a fan of censoring my kids, like movie wise, music wise, because they're gonna get it. I'd rather they talk to me about it. Right. And I guess the one thing that I can say is just educate your kids. I mean, let them know.
And I totally agree with that. I mean, I really tried to help my kids. You prepare them to make good decisions. Yeah. That you have to do that because you can't keep them from the bad. Yeah.
If you're a 16-year-old girl and there's a 40-year-old telling you you're pretty, he's a creep.
Yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason for that. Yeah.
He's gonna do bad things to you.
Yeah. Yeah. On the same hand, if you're a 60-year-old guy and I get this on Facebook, 60-year-old guy and some 25-year-old wants to friend me on Facebook that I don't know.
She's not real.
Yeah. It's like
that's somebody.
It's like come on, man. Yeah.
I get them all the time.
I know. It is like, if it seems too good to be true, it is.
And then on the flip side, if it seems bad, it is.
Yeah, right.
I mean? If it's out of the normal, don't do it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's just somewhere in there, your mind just kind of kicks in. It's like, okay.
Good.
We kind of go off, but that's good. Good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Was that it?
You switch back to me. Yeah.
I did.
Oh, yeah. Wait. No, that's not it. You're right. The number one movie in America on February 28th, 1973. 1973. So 50 years ago, The Poseidon Adventure.
Oh, wow.
And I figured
Did you ever watch that?
No, I've never seen it. It's way before my time.
Yeah, that is an interesting movie.
I've heard it is.
It's the
Gene Hackman. Who else was in it? The woman. It's famous.
yeah the movie. It's the boat gets tipped over. And that's what happens. And so all of these. I mean, that's the whole thing. So they're in a storm and the boat gets tipped over, and then they figure out. I mean, they're all trying to survive and get rescued, and it's interesting. That was the era where they had also the Towering Inferno was one of the. It's probably the movie the year after all of these. There was like the disaster movie. It's like the worst possible scenario.
And Jaws right around.
Jaws, right? Yep.
That was kind of the that era.
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah, it was kind of like to trigger that your worst possible nightmare. Yeah, what could happen.
I don't like those kind of movies. I don't like horror movies either. I'm not a fan of horror movies.
I'm not either.
My youngest daughter and my mom love them. So when she comes here, she sits there and watches Candyman and all these creepy movies with my mom, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
All right. Quote of the day. Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. One more time. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thursday. Who we got Thursday?
Don't have a guest yet.
We do have Keeping It Clear with Cody Bone on Thursday night, though.
That's
5:30.
Thursday night. Yep.
And we're working on getting a SAR, somebody from the search and rescue team, to be a guest too. So pay attention. We'll have a little ad coming out for that, and it'll be 5:30 Thursday, and we're gonna film it right here, Live.
All righty. Thanks, Eastern Oregon.
See you Thursday.
Yep.